And there's been a large 74% approximately based on a Gartner study that recently dropped of internal pilots and experiments and deployments that have failed, right? And I think one thing that I think would help folks through this journey is really think about where is success and what does success look like, right? So I think in my mind, and Andy, feel free to please chime in on this, right? I think success when it comes to from AI pilot to adoption, from our experience helping clients through this as well as ourselves, is really start with small, tangible wins. So you can prove out the model, make sure you're using the right AI model, make sure you have the right data, and then from there begin to either scale that specific use case out to a larger data set or a larger volume, depending on kind of the use case scenario. And then also look at kind of incremental wins. So really take a crawl, walk, run approach to the deployment of AI. Start with that crawl. As that crawl proves out, move to the walk, and then eventually kind of move to the run and really embedding AI more consistently and coherently across the overall enterprise.
Yeah, and I'll give you two real world examples there, Matt, too. So actually, I guess three. There was one of our clients that really wanted to kind of go kind of I'm all in, but then they were kind of biting off too much scope. So like granting access to an agent to read their entire knowledge base, and there were a lot of different domains within the knowledge base, so it would just kind of get confused within that data. Other clients that were much more successful um, gave I'm an AI agent and trained an AI agent on what the business process was, and then gave it access to that specific like domain in order to then help whoever was the end user using an agent to understand you know how the business process applied to that knowledge base, and they're able to kind of get their data out of it. So it's a very limited scope, but it proved from an end user satisfaction standpoint to have a very high like engagement score because everyone was using it because it was really helping them out. And from a second perspective is what we've seen AI agents use in a lot of automation of various processes. So a good example is a documentation of review and a documentation scanning process. If we had structured, well, that agent was very well architected because we structured out a process where we began to train it on the data. We set up, really good configurations in terms of how and where it was pulling out which data from what field, how that data was then stored within one or more databases, and then how that was then being queried, and then exported out into the various end formats that they basically needed. And so that project was very successful because we scoped it out very, very well. We had really clear inputs and outputs. It's really those agents that where it's like we're trying to solve for a lot of different use cases. That's where things tend to kind of stumble.
Yeah.
And so I'm definitely on the bandwagon of develop agents for specific scopes with specific knowledge sets with specific outputs, and that's where it really shines.